Chapter 0. Summary: throwing caution to the wind always has consequences. Unfortunately, Naruto doesn't learn this until he is hurled 25 years backwards in time. Time travel. Prologue. With pure determination in his eyes, Naruto leapt from tree branch to tree branch. Though he was not using the Ninetales chakra mode or sage mode at that time, he knew exactly where he needed to head to in order to get off of the island where he had been training with Killer Bee. I can't believe Granny Tsunade tried to keep me there, Naruto thought as he glanced down at the note that he held in his left hand. It had been slipped under the metal plate of his forehead protector by falling off. I'll end this war myself, Naruto promised himself in a whisper. Will you, now? As soon as the foreign words were spoken, Naruto stopped himself and entered his Ninetales chakra mode. The instant that he did, he sensed a malevolent chakra that Kisame's paled in comparison to. Spinning around, Naruto spoke the name of the man before him. Madara Uchiha. He involuntarily snarled the moment after he spoke the man's name. He saw the change in appearance. More specifically, Rinnegan in Madara's formerly covered eye. Oh, do you like it? I decided to take back what's mine, Madara said with a chuckle. That's actually what I'm doing now. You contain my old pet, and I'd like it back. Fuck you, Naruto said as he dashed forward with the incredible speed that he possessed in that form. Madara looked slightly amused at the attacking Naruto. That did not put the blonde on guard as much as the spinning Sharingan in Madara's eye. In an instant, Naruto's chakra cloak dissipated and Madara held out a hand. Shinra Tensei shit, Naruto thought, feeling the sudden lack of power in addition to the gravitational powers of the Rinnegan. He flew back and slammed into a tree before he could process another thought. As he slid to the branch under the spot that he impacted upon, Naruto heard Madara speak again. Really? What would possess you to use my pet's power against me? Weren't you aware that I could completely control it? Maybe you thought that I could only control it and not its power. Oh well. Matter nonchalant shrug. I must thank you for getting out of whatever chakra isolation chamber you were in. I was incapable of finding you until about 10 minutes ago. And now, I know where the Eight Tails is. Nice to know that you undermined the efforts of the entire shinobi world to protect you. It turns out that I won't even have to get involved in the war after all. All I have to do is go to the location where and I can get the Eight Tails. Take comfort in the knowledge that you will live a little longer. I have to seal the Eight Tails before the Nine Tails, so you'll have 5 days left to live. No more, no less. Naruto's eyes suddenly opened, revealing that they were yellow and shaped like the eyes of a toad. I saw that in Zetsu's recording. That's Sage mode, Madara thought. In a matter of seconds, Naruto had a Raisin Shuriken in his hand and threw it at Madara. Madara's eyes narrowed a fraction as he saw the attack. He knew what it could do. Thus, he simply used Shinra Tensei to dissipate the Raisin Shuriken. So, you're still going to try to fight? Madara said as Naruto dashed towards him with a hand held back. Madara knew that he could not use Shinra Tensei on Naruto again at that moment. Nagato may have had a 5-second delay between uses, but Madara had only had the Rinnegan for a few days. As Arisu was closer to 15 seconds. Madara was by no means defenseless though. I'll let you cool off, Madara said as he began to use his space-time migration technique. The sensation of spinning in on himself had Naruto disoriented, but his determination to defeat the elder Uchiha was still present. I don't think so, Naruto said as he fought against the Uchiha's power with every fiber of his being. Something unlocked within Naruto as he fought against the power that was trying to teleport him. The feeling of the power unlocking caused Naruto to close his eyes for a brief moment. When he opened his eyes, Madara gasped in shock. No longer were toad-like eyes in Naruto's eye sockets. Instead, his pupils were crimson with black shuriken-like emblems in them. That's Itachi's Mangekyo, but how? Madara thought in shock. I won't give up. Naruto yelled as the new power flowed through him. Naruto had never been a very intelligent person. If he had, he might have considered the possible consequences of using his own power, natural energy, and the new power within him to fight against Mata conflicting powers, combined with the fact that one of them was a space-time ninjutsu, could only spell trouble. With the Rinnegan and Sharingan, Madara was able to tell that something bad was about to happen. Thus, he cut off his space-time migration technique and focused all of his efforts on becoming intangible. Madara barely managed to do so before a massive explosion radiated from the exact spot where Naruto stood. When the dust cleared, Madara found that he was standing in a crater that one of the large toad summons could have sat in comfortably. Madara's eyes widened further as he regained tangibility and found that he could not sense Naruto anymore. He couldn't sense any trace of the Ninetales chakra either. All that was left in the crater, other than Madara, was the metal plate of a leaf forehead protector. For the first time in many decades, Madara found that he had no idea what to make of the situation and even less of an idea as to what his next move should have been. I should have had Zetsu record this, Madara thought as he teleported away. I was foolish to send him to watch the Eight Tails. No one would ever learn what happened to Naruto, not in that timeline, at least. Part 1. Back to the past. His eyes opened to a cold, white room. Gathering his senses, Naruto found that he was lying in a rather uncomfortable hospital bed. He was clad in a hospital gown, and he was inside one of the rooms of the Hidden Leaf Village's hospital, despite the fact that pain had destroyed the hospital in his assault. Is this a genjutsu? Naruto thought as he closed his eyes once again. He knew ways to deal with genjutsu, so it would not be too much of a problem, even if he was under the thrall of Madara's Sharingan. He reached for the Ninetales chakra, knowing that the switch to its chakra would break any genjutsu on him. After all, genjutsu affected the target's chakra. If they could draw upon a second source of chakra, it was practically useless against them. Eyes widened as he felt a distinct lack of the Ninetales chakra. Did Madara extract the Ninetales from me? Naruto thought curiously. There was no way to completely prevent him from even sensing the fox's chakra. It was part of him, or it had been. How am I still alive, if he did? He had no intention of completely ruling out genjutsu though. The only two possibilities that jumped to mind were that he was under genjutsu or the Ninetales had been extracted. If the latter was true, then that meant that someone likely used a jutsu like Chio had used on Gaara after the one tail had been extracted from him. He did not want to fathom the possibilities of Tsunade, Sakura, Shizune, or anyone else sacrificing their lives to bring him back. Naruto bit down on his life immediately. He knew that he was very low on chakra, so he did not want to use any more than he needed to, and dispelling genjutsu was very chakra intensive for him. His control had never been good, after all. When blood came from his lip, Naruto frowned. Nothing had changed. I guess there's only one more thing I need to do, Naruto thought. With that thought, he formed the ram hand sign and molded a very small amount of chakra. His new seal should have appeared the moment he had done that, but nothing happened. Before Naruto could fathom what that meant, the door opened. Naruto would not have been surprised if Tsunade, Shizune, Sakura, Kakashi, Irika, or any of his friends had entered the room. The man who walked into the room threw Naruto for a loop that he had not expected. Hiruzen Sarutobi was standing in the doorway, looking at Naruto with a pipe in his mouth. He looks younger than he was when he died. How is this possible? Naruto wondered. Memories of how others addressed him in Naruto's youth came to the blonde at that very moment. It is an honor to meet you, Third Lord Hokage. Naruto did not even consider the possibility of the Hokage before him being an imposter or the effects of a genjutsu. He had no idea what was going on, but he was sure that it was the real man. It's always interesting when someone that I've never met is able to recognize me just by sight, Sarutobi said as he entered the room and shut the door. I'm afraid that I'm not here to socialize though. Did I do something wrong? Naruto asked, seeing that Sarutobi was starting to be very serious. He had a feeling that he was about to learn something important. Somehow, you entered my village without alerting anyone. That clearly meant the guards, ANBU, the Hyuga clan, and the barrier team, though Naruto only knew that because of his allegiance to the village. Many people suspect that you are a spy. Not a very good one, Naruto said without missing a beat. I'm clearly in your hospital with only 1/10 of my chakra, standing in front of the man hailed as the god of shinobi. I absolutely must be a spy. Am I right? Sarutobi actually smiled in response to that. One could argue that you hope to gain my trust. One could argue that you could have had my mind read while I was out of it, Naruto countered. One could argue that the entire shinobi world knows that I wouldn't do that, Sarutobi replied. I'm not going to argue about this, Naruto said. He really did not want to argue with the man that he considered his grandfather in his youth. You can say I'm a spy and imprison me, or you can choose not to. Trust me when I saw I'd make a horrible spy though. I'm not that good at concealing my chakra, and I have even more chakra than most jonin. I'd stand out. Sarutobi seemed to consider that. After a few minutes, he asked, did you say that you're only at 10% of your chakra? He sounded skeptical. That's right, Naruto said, nodding in agreement. Actually, I'm probably closer to 8%. I'm not that good with math. Never was. That's impossible, Sarutobi stated. A sensor told me that you have half as much chakra as an average jonin right now. That sounds about right, Naruto said, nodding in agreement. His words only served to shock Sarutobi. I'm not sure why my chakra is so low right now though. Must have been from that last fight. His fight with Madara Uchiha came to mind when he said that. What's your name? Sarutobi asked as he regained his calm. Oh, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Sarutobi nodded in response, not appearing surprised by the last name. You were found in a jacket that bears the insignia for the Uzumaki clan. Am I to assume that you really are a member of the clan? Naruto let out a small laugh in response, shocking the Hokage. To be honest, I never even knew there was an Uzumaki clan until just recently. I was orphaned the day I was born, and I just found out that my mother was a member of the Uzumaki clan. An eyebrow was raised at that. You didn't even know that there was an Uzumaki clan? A nod was received in reply to that question, though it seemed that it was not an acceptable answer. How can that be? The Uzumaki clan and the village hidden in the whirling tides were only destroyed 10 years ago at the start of the Second Shinobi World War, Sarutobi said, looking at Naruto carefully. How could you not know of a clan as famous as the Uzumaki clan? Where have you been? Hiding under a rock? Nagato said the Second Shinobi World War was started by the Hidden Leaf Village. Maybe they started it after the village hidden in the whirling tides was destroyed, Naruto thought. But if what he just told me is true, then I'm in the past. Is it even possible to travel back in time? And if it is, then I must be a year before the start of the Third Shinobi World War. Damn it. I need answers. He knew that he could not get them soon at all, though. Civilians don't talk about shinobi clans often. When they do, they talk about Uchiha or Hyuga, not Uzumaki, Naruto replied, careful not to lie. He knew that Hiruzen Sarutobi would spot a lie even faster than a Hyuga. I'm only a ninja if a ninja is someone who uses ninjutsu. That was completely true. If he was in the past, then he certainly wouldn't be a leaf ninja unless he attempted to join them. Is it really that hard to believe I never heard of them? Sarutobi sighed upon hearing Naruto's words. He was unable to detect any lies, though he could see that there was more to the story than Naruto was revealing. That was to be expected, though. He's a ninja if I ever saw one, but I believe that he's telling the truth about not being a formal ninja, Sarutobi thought. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt in regards to your backstory, Sarutobi said with another sigh. You must understand that your sudden appearance is still alarming, though. How is that? Naruto asked, curiosity piqued. Well, you appeared inside my village without alerting anyone, and then I find that you are a distant relative of the Senju clan of the forest, a clan that my sensei was a part of. Furthermore, you are suffering from a mild case of chakra exhaustion, and your body seems to have gone through a great level of strain lately. The medics actually ordered that you be watched over after your release. Unlike Naruto, Sarutobi was capable of lying without arousing a hint of suspicion. The god of shinobi could lie to an Uchiha and a Hyuga at the same time, all the while proclaiming that he was the sage of 6 paths and could shatter mountains with a clicking of his tongue. He was simply that good. Oh, I see, Naruto said, clearly caught off guard. You will be released in an hour, actually, Sarutobi said, surprising Naruto once more. I will arrange for a couple chunin to give you a tour of the village at that time. Once the tour is finished, you will be brought to my office to meet the chunin that I am assigning to watch over you. Hopefully, we will be able to figure out how you appeared in the village by the time you are at 100%. Naruto nodded slowly with a hint of reluctance in the motion. What will happen when I am at 100% and have figured out how I got here? Sarutobi walked towards the window of the hospital room before he answered the question. If it is determined that you are not a spy and your answer is acceptable, you will be allowed to leave. If you wish, you may choose to join the village instead of leaving, though. That is a moot point for the moment, though. You should instead focus on recovering and figuring out how exactly you got here. Naruto nodded in agreement. He wished to figure out how exactly he got there as well, though he doubted that it would be a simple answer in the end. I will take my leave now, Naruto Uzumaki, Sarutobi said, glancing back at the blonde. I will ask a nurse to bring you the clothes that you were found in. They appeared mostly undamaged when I last saw them. Make sure you are ready for your tour in 1 hour. My ninja do not like to be kept waiting. Naruto mentally snorted at that last sentence. He was reminded of Kakashi at that moment. Kakashi had always kept everyone waiting, though his tardiness was normally over-exaggerated. Naruto could only remember a handful of times that he was more than 15 minutes late to anything, and those were never important events. Nonetheless, Naruto nodded in understanding. He had never been the type to be late unless the event that he was being late to was something related to academics. He had loathed the academy, so he didn't consider his tardiness and truancy to be anything of note. I will see you later, Sarutobi said as he turned and left the hospital room. By the look on the Hokage's face, Naruto was capable of determining that he was confused. The prospect of the man called the professor being confused was quite hilarious to Naruto. Once the door shut, Naruto exhaled in relief and thought back over everything that the Hokage had said. So, the Second Shinobi World War ended 4 years ago. That means that the Third Shinobi World War will begin in a year. Kakashi-sensei's father will commit suicide in 3 years, and I will be born in 9 years. Wow, this is pretty fucked up, Naruto thought. Yes. Naruto would often use those last words to describe what had happened for years to come.